Hey guys, I've decided to build a truck, a Chevy C10, of course, for the Modified Madness series that Guitarded and Broke is putting together over on his track. And I posted a picture earlier of these 5 cars, and that they are all going into one build. And I'm just going to give you a little breakdown on the plan. If you've ever modded cars before, you probably have an idea what's going on here. But this is just to show you what I've got in mind and what's going to be happening over the next few days. So the trucks, obviously, I need 2 of them. I need 2 of these trucks. They are the 67 Chevy C10. This one I've already done a little work on, but I'm just using the body. But what's going to happen is the chassis is a little bit longer than this is. Let me show that real quick. You can see that the wheelbase on this metal chassis, it's a bulletproof chassis, is a little long. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to be using this one for the front half, and then this green one here for the back half. And what I will do is I will just lengthen it. I'll basically be turning this short bed into a long bed. And I will be joining up a seam right in here behind the cab. I'll cut this one right about here, right in front of the wheel, and then I will cut this one, and I'll make a cut on this one right here, right directly behind the cab. And that way when you join them up, the wheelbase will be long enough and I can just tweak it to fit the chassis. These 2, I think they are Viper GTs, I believe is what this car is. They are early FTEs. And of course, as you might imagine, all I really care about, let's see, I'll get that out of there in a second, are these wheels. Both these cars have pretty decent spinning wheels. I'll take a look at them a little closer and I'll show you what's going on with them. But basically these, I'm just harvesting the wheels, and that will be the last time you'll see these cars. Yeah, and let me just show you this chassis real quick. The reason I like this chassis is, number one, it is a little longer wheelbase. Oof, it'll come apart. Oh, and by the way, too, I have already drilled these cars. I'm assuming that anybody watching this video knows how to drill out rivets. So I'm sorry if you do not know how to do that. You might want to look up some of my other videos, but yeah. But the reason I like this chassis is, number one, nice low chassis. It is a very rigid chassis, just with these little side bracing in this center section. It's a really nice rigid chassis, and the metal chassis makes it a little bit weird to work with, but no, it'll be fine. And the thing that works out really nice here is, I'll show you a little later, I can actually make these holes work. I think I might have to just egg shape this hole just a little bit to get the bed set back where it needs to be. But yeah, so that's the plan. I'm going to be taking 2 of these Chevy bodies. And oh, if you hadn't already noticed too, I am going to be using these cars have the wider FTEs. I am going to be going with the wider FTEs all the way around on this truck. That's something I don't usually do, but for like an open track style race, well, that might just work. We'll see how it goes. But the chassis will more than likely be getting axle tubes, and might have to do a little customizing on the chassis, but really not a lot. So yeah, that's the plan. So taking 2 of these Chevys, turning a short bed into a long bed, and mounting it on this metal chassis. So that's the plan. Hey guys, as you can see, we are now down to just the components that I'll be using. The two bodies, the wheels I need, the chassis, and also the interior. I probably won't be using the seats and whatnot, but I will need that plastic for the grill, and I do like to use the original windshields also. Just to take a look, as you can see in the last video, I'll just grind down the tabs over the axles. When you start to see some sparks, you know you're getting close. And yeah, I will just take a file and open up these axle grooves a little bit to accommodate a 1/16 inch copper axle tube. And then I will be showing you how I do that a little bit later. To show you how these bodies are going to work. It's kind of cool. Now, I did already drill these bodies, this one in the front and the other one in the back. These are drilled and tapped. Basically, you just take a 1/16 inch drill, and that will work really nice for a 256 tap, so you can use little button head screws to put them together. And as I was saying before, if I can just put this together real quick, let's see, there. As you can see, it is kind of long. It's going to lengthen out this truck a little bit, but with that hole in the correct place, the front axles actually line up perfect. And I can put the other one on there. This is going to be the rear one. Put that on. And this is very close, but it's just a little bit toward the back. Now I could open up the rear wheel opening a little bit in the body, but I would prefer to just cheat this hole back just a little bit. So I'll probably just take a small round file, open that up, and probably I'll have to grind this little lip off of the chassis to get the screw down in there. But yeah, that's the plan so far, and you can see how it will work. But the next thing I will have to do is, like I said earlier, I'm going to cut this one. I'm going to cut it right here, right behind the cab, and cut this one right in front of the wheels. And I might strip the paint off in there too, so I could really see the body lines, how they'll line up. But yeah, the idea is to get it where this body line is like nice and flat across here, and so hopefully you can get them to match up really nice. Now, I've built one of these before, and it takes a little bit of doing to get everything lined up perfectly, but they come out looking pretty cool. So that's the plan. The next thing, I will probably cut these off camera, just because, well, it makes a mess and it's really hard